Welcome to On the Record. I'm Jess King. This is a place where I gather some of the most interesting, creative, and exciting people in my life and ask them about their lives to get stories from their past, ones of hysteria and laughter and joy and heartbreak, and of course, music and dance. So today I have my very best friend, DJ John Michael. Welcome.
I can't believe we're doing this finally. This feels like a natural progression.
Obvious.
Like we would have ended up here at some point.
Well, this is our normal.
Right. We just don't do it in a studio.
Right. Now we've invited people to listen.
Which
so
still don't know if that's the best idea, but we'll figure it out.
you know what's funny is you're still in my phone as DJ John Michael.
I feel like that's me in everybody's phone.
But it wasn't until I went to your sister's funeral that I learned that John Michael is not even your name.
No. When I was starting my first nightclub residency at this place called Club One in Wallington, New Jersey.
Wallington, New
Jersey, near East Rutherford. I want to say this is, it's early 2000s-ish. And they needed a name for the flyer, and my nephew was just born, and his name was John Michael. And I was like, well, I'm not going to put DJ John because there could be a million of them, but I was like, I don't know any DJ John Michaels. I was like, and I love the name, and I always wished my name was something different than John. So I was like, just put DJ John Michael on the flyer, and so that's what they did, and it stuck from there. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ride this out, and that's just be what it became. And then DJ JM, and all the other different acronyms, yeah.
And so DJing from that has become your identity.
Oh, yeah. A big part of it for sure. I mean, music has always been a part of my identity, but this is, again, feels like the natural manifestation of like where all of the knowledge and all of the things that I learned about music growing up would have gone.
Right, because we are the elders now.
It's looking like that. As much as I hate to say it, we're the adults in the room, and I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
We're the ones that are like, why are your cell phones out? Why are you acting this way? What's happening?
You have known my day.
I know, back in my day. Let's talk about back in your day, because I envy some of the stories you tell of the late 90s, early 2000s. I still wasn't of age just yet, wasn't in New York yet, but you were living the life I wanted to live on the dance floor, Limelight, Twilight, all the spots.
Right.
At the peak of dance music.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So I came into dance music, I would say, first when I inherited my aunt's record collection, and I got the first Donna Summer record that I had ever owned, and it was the Donna Summer Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. That record is really pivotal in changing my life, and I was just like, whatever this type of music is, I want to be around this, and I want more of this in my life. As I got older and dance music and house music sort of became a thing across the span of my lifetime, I didn't really know much about how it all sort of worked in nightlife, because so the first 7 years of working, I worked in the mall, and I worked in different stores in retail. My best friend worked at Sam Goody. I'm really dating myself there, first store that doesn't exist. Worked at Sam Goody, and I would go there and I would buy all of these CD singles that had all these remixes on it by names like Junior Vasquez, Peter Rawhofer, Hex Hector, all these other guys. And anything that had their names on it, I was just obsessed. I was like, whatever this music is, I really, really want more of. Then I was working at Gadzooks. This is probably, I know, that's another throwback. There's going to be a lot of throwbacks in this one. I'm sorry.
Just waiting for you to say, and then I was at Spencer's.
Right. That'll come. And so I was working at Gadzooks, and I had a regional manager named Rudy, and he came in one day and he had heard me. So they used to have screens all around the store where we would have to play videos that they would send us every month. I hijacked the system and would hook up my Discman so that way I could just play CDs in the store. And so I would go to Sam Goody, buy all these CDs, bring them back, and this is what we would listen to at work. So I had a regional manager that heard me playing them one day, and he was like, if this is the type of music you like, I think there's a CD that you need to have. And he walked down to Sam Goody and came back with Junior Vasquez Live Volume 2. I didn't know much about him. I didn't know much about the music, but the first CD was all very sort of dark, tribal, underground, and the second CD was like Deborah Cox, Amber, Cher, Dolly Parton, and I was like, all right, I'm in, like, let's go.
All the legends.
From the minute the CD went on, I was just like, okay, I have to do something that keeps this in my life. And I didn't really know what that was going to be till I walked into a nightclub for the first time, and I was like, it's this. It's actually just this. Like, I literally remember walking into the Coliseum in Sayreville, New Jersey, the first gay club I ever went to. And as soon as I walked in onto the dance floor, I just stood there and looked. And I will never forget the moment just being like, this is whatever it is.
What was the feeling?
It just felt like this is where I belonged. Like, it was for the first time. And again, maybe it's growing up, not so sure, figuring out your sexuality in the late 90s. You know, things were very different than they are now. That walking in there, seeing all these people living such full expressions of their lives so unabashedly to the music that I had been listening to for quite some time, all of a sudden it just connected. And I was like, whatever it is, whatever this feeling is that I feel, this is what I'm going to be chasing now. And that's how it sort of started. And I was just...
Had you already started DJing at that?
No.
No.
No, this is like 97, I want to say. I had gone there with my sister's ex-boyfriend who I had dated for a minute. That's a whole nother podcast and a whole nother story.
What?
Yeah. There's a really...
Sister's ex-boyfriend that, did she know?
She didn't know. And
She does now.
Well, she did. She definitely did. But it was, it wasn't my best choice, but I made a lot of not of my best choices in the late 90s and early 2000s. So,
Okay, tell me, what's another not good choice that you made?
Oh, they're probably mostly around men.
Well, specifically at the club.
Oh, at the club?
Right. When you're a rookie, you're novice, you're new here.
Yeah.
It's all disco balls and bodies dancing in a safe space. You're finally starting to unravel, possibly unpack a lot of your childhood right then and there on the dance floor. What song was playing?
I mean, this is like Amber's "This Is Your Night." This is Deborah Cox.
So
Nobody's supposed to. Yeah.
Dancing free till the morning. Like, you thought, this is my night. I'm going to do what? What did you do?
I mean,
that got you into trouble?
It wasn't necessarily what got me into trouble per se, but I think that in the first few years I was too trusting with people. I think I just sort of assumed like, oh, we're all here in the same community. We're all here in the same space to do the same thing. I can trust anybody that I meet here. Mm-hmm. And that led me down to some crazy things where I'm like, no, I don't think I should be in this. No, I don't think I should be involved with these people. No. But I just sort of like, I grew up in Staten Island. There was nobody in Staten Island in the late 90s, really. So
especially nobody who was queer.
Right. And out. Right. Mm-hmm. So it was, I think that, and I'm glad that I made them. Don't get me wrong. Some of them were definitely more dangerous than others.
Give me the tea. The whole point is you're going to take one of these stories that maybe you've never said publicly and put it on the record.
Oh boy. I would say it's probably getting into allowing people to talk me into doing drugs too early, I want to say, and not really understanding the ramifications or understanding any of it. And I mean, it's not, and I don't mean like, I'm not talking about like doing like serious, like heavy, hard drugs all the time, but I mean just being in an environment, feeling acceptance for the first time and thinking these people are going to have the best lookout for me. So I'm going to do whatever they do. And I think knowing what I know now, I would have definitely done that very, very differently. But it's, you know, again, like...
Well, I relate to being on the dance floor or being in a situation where everybody is so free and it feels so beautiful and everyone's so nice.
Right.
Because of the drugs they're on, they're so happy.
Right.
And what I have learned is that is an incubated moment.
Totally.
That is, it is exactly what you think and feel in that moment, but it only lives in that moment.
Right. That's why every time whenever we're out at a club and we take a photo and it doesn't come out perfect, my line that I always tell everybody is, it'll look how it felt.
Truly.
And that's exactly it.
God, I've just so many pictures of...
Right. Of just everybody's just like blurry and crazy looking. And it's like, it'll look how it felt. Don't look for perfection in a nightclub photo. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so much has changed since then, the culture of the dance floor. So take me back to the culture of the dance floor then.
So then, I mean, the obvious thing is no phones. And it's not that there weren't cameras, but a lot of places had hired photographers. So like there were guys that were coming to the club, like Pete Lau is one that I think of all the time. He was always at a lot of the Junior Vasquez parties. And he would come there. He was hired by the club to come and take nice photos, staged photos to present, you know, whatever, not the crazy ones, whatever. So you didn't really have, I think it was that allowed you to be free, you know, because now you see the rise of so many non-phone parties, or like there's a club like that just opened last year, I think it was Refuge it's fantastic, but they cover your camera when you go. And my husband and I were just in Germany recently, and we went to Berghain for the first time. They cover your camera when you go, and nobody's taking their phones out in the club. And when you don't have that, and I know it sounds like an old man thing to say, but people act differently. They act like they would normally act. You know, when you're under the presumption that at any point some stranger could take a video of you and it could land up on the internet and you could have a viral clip go, you know, you're going to prevent yourself from dancing. You're going to stop yourself from having the good time that you probably should have. And it commoditizes the whole experience really for the social media grid. And it just makes the whole thing so flat and small.
And the truth is, the moment you're speaking of that is so intimate and beautiful and, you know, holy for
Right.
me, is it's intended to be very internal. It's intended to be very personal and intimate to yourself. And yeah, you're having fun and you're sharing, but it is a very healing space.
Oh, yeah.
The dance floor. And I think that gets confused a lot with the lights and the party and then the idea that
Right.
lots of drugs and that it's not anything beautiful. It's
Right.
only bad things going on there. But truly a DJ holds the emotional temperature of
yeah.
the room the whole time. And we're called to different DJs because of how they make us feel and the journey that they take us on. And when I go out, I mean, you know this, I'm like, don't talk to me.
Right.
Don't talk to me unless you're about to say, oh, you hear that? You hear that? He's about to bring in this track.
Right.
He's about to bring in, ooh, you hear that's about to be dark.
Right.
Beat drops. Yes. And that's it. That's the only
This is not the time for,
conversation
yeah.
we're having. So I'm really curious, when did house music stop becoming house music for you and start become healing music?
I would say almost instantly, if I'm going to be honest, because I think that for me specifically, and I know that you have this too, when you have not a complicated childhood, but when you have things about yourself that you're trying to figure out and you're wrestling with, to finally have a space where you can sort of be messy and be whatever and make mistakes and whatever. I think it endears you to the environment, and the environment was always, whether it was the Coliseum in New Jersey, whether it was Limelight, whether it was Twyla, whether it was Roxy, whatever tunnel, they were all different versions of the same sort of playground of freedom. So when you have that and you can be messy, like I don't know, it brings something different to your life, because I was able to make so many mistakes where, like I said, you're not under a microscope, and you're taking in this full environment, which comes with this glorious soundtrack, and you're meeting the most interesting people while this song is playing, and you're having your first kiss on the dance floor while Deborah Cox is singing, and this remix is, and it's like all of these things start to happen. So now I find, like, okay, so in one of the clubs that I DJ at in Philadelphia, Tavern on Camac, the DJ booth is extremely close to the dance floor. It's not a huge space, and I'm right there. So a lot of times the people that are right in front of me, I can see for most of the night. And when it gets packed, people usually don't move. And I'll see people meeting for the first time, and I'll see them like starting to flirt and have that moment. And I'm like watching the whole thing happen. And I'm like, oh my God, they're kissing. And now, okay, let me put this on because I see they're kissing, and let me put on a different song. And you start to like lock in on people. I think some of that gets lost these days because of how, the DJ's up on the stage and there's the lights and the production and whatever. But it's that sort of moment that I love the most, and I think kept me coming back, because it was just like, I get to be that for somebody else now on the other side, when that was it for me for so long. And the DJ didn't know that was happening for me. It was just whatever the soundtrack was, it was healing, and it was giving me those moments of freedom and those moments of expression. That's why even a song like, you think Alternate is Free, it's a pride anthem. It's a huge dance song that's been since the mid-90s, but it's like the lyrics are so important.
Do you remember the first time you heard it?
No, because it's just been present ever since I can remember. I don't know a time that I can think of without it. It's just been everywhere. Like, there's always a new version of it. She's performed at so many different Pride events. Like, it's just one of those songs where, like, you hear it and immediately the hands go up and everybody in the room has the same reaction. When you get something like that, that's crazy, to really capture that environment in a 4-minute song. So it's like, it's in those hands in the air moment where the healing comes. It's like you're letting go and you're giving it to a higher power and you're throwing it out there to just say, I have to let this go. Let this all just wash over me and let it happen. So
it truly is like a therapy session with your higher self on the dance floor. I think that's why I get so mad when people are talking to me.
But like, I just don't understand it.
Here.
Right? Like, what are you doing? Like, how are we having a conversation? What? No, I can't even hear you.
You know, I have always said I think you're neurodivergent.
Probably.
ADHD.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like sees like.
Yeah.
And the dance floor is notorious for making those of us who are neurospicy feel safe.
Oh, yeah.
And that is really because of the music itself, right? That 4 on the floor, that consistent rhythm that aligns with the beat of your heart. So then you have this coherence happening with the music, your body, your breath, and then that starts to increase the resonance of the whole field because then everybody start moving on the same beat and the same thing, breath. And then when you get the predictability of the beat drops, the crescendo to the beat drop, that also makes us feel safe.
Oh, yeah.
Because our minds are constantly wondering and wired to think about, well, what's next? What's going to happen next?
Right.
And when we don't have to worry about that because we can feel done, it's happening now.
Right, right.
And there's this like level of joy and I feel totally disarmed finally, where the voice of like, girl, relax, you can soften a little bit. Yes, set this part of you free.
Right.
Set them free. These just like incredible downloads where like my brain is finally talking to me in a very beautiful way.
Well, it's funny too, because I think that most DJs that I've met tend to be introverted. And I think that most people would think the opposite. A lot of DJs are not extroverted people. They're usually like, for a very, very long time, when I was DJing, I was not on the center stage. I was in a closet off to the side. I was in a glass booth on the side of the stage. Like I was not the focus by any means. The focus was always the party and should always be the party. So it's like that change definitely brought something to it, I think, because now you know everybody's watching you versus that sort of freedom that maybe you had before to kind of whatever. I mean, I don't care. I'm obviously like, I think all of my years has obviously informed what people see me mostly do at Peloton now. But like, you know, I'm not jumping up and down like I do in a Peloton class for 4 hours at the club. I'm still working, whatever, but I'm having a great time and I'm doing that. But it's very, very hard for me to explain because it's probably the only place where I feel the most confident. This is probably more nerve-wracking to me. The idea of giving a keynote speech terrifies me. If you want me to talk on my own, talking in a conversation, super easy. I could do that. But to actually like address people publicly, not my strong suit. But you want me to DJ for 6 hours and nobody's going to bother me, nobody's going to talk to me, and I can have complete total control? Great. I could do it with one arm behind my back. Like it's not even a problem.
Yeah, the control thing is interesting and definitely a part of it. But I also think that it might just be that music is your language, the language that you speak. Because when you DJ, when I go listen to DJs, every song is intentional.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason you're playing that when you're playing it and what you're going to play next because you just played that and what you just saw, the two people kissing and where you want to take them. You want to take them in, you want to take them out, you want to make them feel, you want to make them melt, you want to make them headbang. It is very strategic, but it is also a very vulnerable conversation that you're having. You're just not speaking.
Right.
You are using the music to tell that story and guide it.
Well, and I wish people understood the difference in different types of DJs and different types of DJing, because it's like, you know, now we're
break it down.
Well, I was gonna say now we're at a point. Okay, so like, if I'm going to throw it back to when I started, like when I would go see Junior Vasquez at Twyla, for say, he would probably DJ 12 to 14 hours a night. And I mean, and you had like long sections of like, there's the gospel house section in the morning, there's the trance section that's going to hit at this point. Like there was all these different things that would go on for hours because there was no curfew. New York was very different, whatever. So now it's like when you go see a DJ and you're going to see them for a 2-hour set amongst all of these other DJs, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you're going to see what I call the greatest hits package, I feel. Like what you're going to see this DJ is the songs that you know, that you've been streaming, all of that other stuff. Which is why I left when they're just like 3-hour special extended set. I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna have to do better than that. But it's it's a crazy thing because I feel like in 2 hours you really, or an hour or two, you have to hit people hard. You've got such a short amount of time and you want people to walk away feeling like they got the most experience out of coming to see you and spending the money on a ticket. But that's why I think when I got into DJing, I didn't aspire to be famous, like touring crazy festival DJ. I always liked the idea of having a residency, doing something local, because it's like, this is going to be me for 4 hours. This is going to be me for 5 hours every single night. And we're going to start here, we're going to end here. And whatever we do in the middle is going to be based on your energy, not on what I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever you got. But it's like, I'm going to facilitate what I see you need. And that is actually what I think the skill is. I could teach anybody how to beat match. The skill is reading the room.
You tried to teach me. You were the worst teacher.
Because I told you just have to do it. I said, you cannot.
That is not how you just have to do it.
You have to. Right. I will show you what the buttons do, but you have to actually just do it because.
Okay.
No, because here's the thing. Because when you start to do it for other people, what you realize, the first person, Seth, that taught me how to DJ said, you think you're going to go there and you're going to play all the music that you want to hear. What you're going to quickly realize is that's not the case. You are in the service industry. You are there to facilitate everybody else's good time. So yes, you want to educate. Hex Hector once told me that, you do, it's one song they don't know for every two that they do. And that's how he does a lot of his sets. And that's great advice too, but it's like reading the room is actually the skill of the DJ. The beat matching is not really, it's part of it, but it's such a small part of it. It's the reading the room is really the thing. And I think that was what I had to learn the most. And I think that also is probably what set me free the most, because once I realized that, I was like, oh, I actually don't have to like plan every single whatever. Like, no, I know the music that I brought with me. I know everything that I have. I just have to wait for the moment to reveal itself. And then we're just all going to vibe and flow together. And that's what I feel like the best nights turn into.
It is like a living, breathing organism.
Everybody in the room. And you have a responsibility being on the dance floor just as much as the DJ does. You give nothing, you get nothing.
Right. It is a very collaborative experience. I'm curious. When was a time that you can remember crying on the dance floor, having to, okay.
No, I'm thinking.
I feel
like there's probably so many.
A breakthrough, not necessarily a breakdown.
Right. I think, okay, so the first time, one of the first ones that comes in, so you'll hear me say Junior Vasquez a lot because he really was the
he
DJ.
mentored you.
Yeah, but he was the DJ that I was most interested in out of all of them. And I was just his music, everything that he was doing. I was coming out of being a musical theater kid. So from like 13 to 16, I was in ballet classes, voice classes, all different types of stuff. I was doing local productions of all different types of things. Like I was very, very shocker, musical theater. Coming out of that into Clubland, his music had full-on orchestras, timpani drums, like
theatrical.
It was like 13 minutes long and they went on forever. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect combination of what I loved. So I followed him for years. And then I think my friend Billy, one night that I was working with, he said to me, he was like, he's like, we're working on this mashup using 2 of his tracks. I have his email address. We could just email him and see what happens. And what's the worst he could say? No. And I said, all right. I said, whatever. Sent it to him. He loved it. We went to go see him at a place that doesn't exist anymore called Hudson Terrace. The first time I heard him play something that I had made, I was not well. I was just completely unwell. And I was like, that it's taken me, you're talking, this is like 1997 to now, maybe 2008, 2007, something like that. It was like a moment where I was like, oh my God. Then when I got to the moment, they introduced us, whatever, we started talking, it became like a thing. And like, I just became one of his guys. And like, it was me and a bunch of other DJs that worked with him. When I first got asked by him to do something official, the options were, I remember him saying, I have 2 remix projects. Which one are you more interested in? One is Macy Gray, Slapped a Bitch. And one is Whitney Houston, $1 Million Bill. I was like, I'll go for Whitney Houston, please. I was like, I'll take the Whitney. But when it was an official ask, that's when I got his logo tattooed on the back of my neck. I was like, this is the moment. I was like, because I want to make sure that I remember this forever. But like, there is something crazy. I can only say it must be akin to hearing your song on the radio for the first time, because now you're seeing in real time, not only is the person that you admire the most giving you like a stamp of approval, but now you're watching it happen on the dance floor and you're watching everybody's reaction and seeing what they're reacting to, which parts made more sense and which parts maybe didn't make more sense. And that each time you do it, you learn more and more about the dance floor. And that's what informs all the remixes and stuff that I've done all over the years now.
And you also learn about the dance floor by being on the dance floor.
Without a doubt. If you're a DJ and you're not on the dance floor, I don't understand you. I don't fuck with you.
Yeah,
I just don't.
Because how are you going to know
No, you have
how things are landing, what's not landing, maybe patterns or behaviors, things that people are doing now that you could snap them out of,
Right.
pull them into something different, a different kind of energy. It's so important that, if nightlife is your thing, that you're involved.
Oh, absolutely. And to that point too, even when I first started at Peloton, I remember doing the DJ rides with you and Robin every week.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't until I want to say, I don't watch my classes. I don't want to watch myself. I've watched this great interview with Cher where she says, I like doing stuff. I don't like to watch myself doing stuff.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, it's very that. But Robin was the first person that was just like, I think you should take one of these classes that we do because I think you need to understand why people enjoy it so much and why people keep coming back to it and what it is that they're experiencing. So that way you get it a little bit more. And it was really difficult at first to watch myself on camera. But when I did it and I was like, okay, I understand. And really, honestly, because of you and Robin, taught me very, very different things because I was so in house music mode and everything that I did was so four on the floor. I had to completely relearn energy and how it worked and applied to a fitness space.
Right.
And all of the Yellow Claw and that type of music. Like I never listened to anything like that before.
I'm like, hey, you like trap?
Right. I was just like, what? And you're like, here's the song Burial. I'm like, what? And I listened to it. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard.
Nostradamus.
Right. And but learning all of that was completely new. And I was like, okay, now I understand why this works and what it is you want people to do with this music. So in turn, it's the same thing. What do I want people to feel on the dance floor with the music that I'm playing? It's the exact same thing. That's what I noticed immediately.
It's just a condensed, energetic roadmap.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're like, we're peaking. We're,
Right,
peak.
right.
But there is such a synergy and a relationship between music, dancing, music, movement, DJ to raver, that honestly, I mean, for me, I've been the person on the dance floor for so long that it was during mat leave that I thought I'm going to learn how to DJ. I've been doing it with my playlists now over 10 years. And not only that, I do it. The first time I DJ'd, I got off and I don't know who I said it to. Maybe it was you. I'm like, that was so easy. And I was shocked because I didn't have to talk or do sprints or climb a hill at the same time. Or
You're just sharing music.
I was just pushing buttons and sharing music. And, it sounds to me too that you are a little voyeuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
For
I
sure.
am huge.
Right.
I love watching people, studying people. If you see me, I see you.
Right.
Know that.
That is 100% true. I don't know which one is my camera, but that is 100% true.
I see you.
Yeah.
And I'm watching and I'm taking notes, not to judge you, but to inform something that I'm working on, right? Like, so it's a lot of information, a lot of paying attention, and then this ability to apply that to the next thing that you do. But it was a natural progression for me to say, yes, I still want to be on the dance floor as much as possible, but I also want to be in control.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be the one. And it's the only way for people to stop talking to me is if they get behind the DJ booth and you're going to stop talking to me. I told you right now is not the time.
That's why I tell everybody no requests. There's no requests.
Have
Sorry.
you ever honored a request, or what's the craziest request you ever had?
Pearl Jam.
What?
I will never forget. I'm on the second floor at Club Heaven in New York City, right across the street from Limelight, and I'm playing vinyl, and I will never forget. And this man came up to me and was just like, "Do you have Jeremy by Pearl Jam?" And I was like, even if I did, even if I had,
shade.
no shade. And I loved,
shade.
none whatsoever. Right. It was literally like me playing like the hardest house ever. And this man was just like, Jeremy by Pearl Jam would go off right now. And I'm like, guy, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. No, I don't think, I will never forget that. That's the craziest one for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was brave. He was brave.
He was real brave. Wherever he is, I hope he's having a good day.
And listening to Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
and listening to Pearl Jam. Okay. I want to get into some of the recent Madonna controversy.
Oh, yeah.
So Madonna played at Coachella, or sorry, she guest appeared for Sabrina Carpenter's set.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated what you had to say
Yeah.
because the comments started to pop off around Madonna. She's too old. Why is she wearing that? Da 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 da.
I saw someone that said that we need to start having an age limit for Coachella performers. And I was like,
Good night. Because guess what? To whoever said that, your ass is going to get old one day too. And you want somebody to come up to you and say, we've had enough of
right.
you. Goodbye.
And this is part of what started it, because I was just like, Iggy Pop performed the weekend before and no one said anything. So I'm like, this is just the same misogynistic nonsense.
It's incredible what men can get away with in music festivals and performance, and what women cannot get away with. I can attest.
Just in general, I feel like, and I see this even in just female and male pop stars, like, and I've seen, like, God only knows how many times I've seen Madonna, I've seen Cher, I've seen Britney, I've seen all of them. And it's like they put on a show and there is outfits, there's hair, there's glam, there's whatever. And then you get a guy comes out, pop star, like we went to
the shirt off.
Yeah, we went to go see Harry Styles, put on a fantastic show, an absolutely fantastic show, have nothing bad to say about him, but wore one outfit all night and was just on stage with a band and that was it. It was no visuals. It was no crazy background dancers. It was no nothing. He was phenomenal.
So what were your talking points though for Madonna? Because you put it online, but put it here on the record. And what was the beef?
My thing is what a lot of people don't realize, especially now, and with the way that the algorithms of our social media work, like if I'm on Instagram and a post comes my way, it will say, oh, Jess King commented on this, and it'll put your comment right up at the front because we're close friends. And I'll see that first and I'll be like, oh, what did Jess say? And then whatever, and either I'll comment on it, like it, whatever. So if you're online as a man commenting about, Madonna is the example here, but it could be any woman, any famous woman, whatever. You know who's not going to see that? Madonna. But you know who is going to see that? Every other woman in your life, from your mother, your daughter, your niece, your nephew. They're going to be the ones that see that. And they're going to say, oh, this man in my life talks about women this way. And that's a red flag.
As it should be.
Right. And so this is why, like, when I hear things like, oh, the male loneliness epidemic, I'm like, actually, two things. One, I don't think y'all are lonely enough. Two, I think this is a problem that... Right. This is user error right now. I'm just saying, like, y'all are not doing this properly. And I'm not even saying that to score brownie points, because it's like, I've worked with women my entire life. I've been around women my entire life. And I'm like, your ability to not forget things is unlike men in a way that I cannot truly describe. Mm-hmm. And it's like, women will remember not just what you said, but what you were wearing and your hand position while you said it. Like it's down to the T, and I've seen it time and time again.
That's because that's a trauma imprint.
I believe that. I absolutely.
Why we capture everything in the moment.
I believe it. And so it's like, and watching this person that I know, like, I remember Madonna in the 90s when she did the Girly Show, and she was, I want to say 34 years old. And I will never forget, there was an article that went out that was just like, hey, grandma, maybe cool down. And I'm like, this is a 34-year-old woman that you're calling grandma, doing the girly
yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it was like so like, and that always stuck with me. And I'm like, that's so crazy. And I even said this to my team at work. I'm like, there's this weird thing that happens to female pop stars where it's like in their 40s, all of a sudden, when they fall out of the stereotypical male gaze and they're not marketable to younger men anymore, radio doesn't play them as much. It becomes adult contemporary. It's easy listening music, whatever. And then right around 60 or so is when they kind of start coming around that curve. And then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, living legend. Like Cher's Believe came out in 1998. She was 55 when that song came out. That was unheard of. She right now is the only person to have a #1 song across 6 decades. That's a wild thing. But that comes with so many peaks and valleys in between. But it's like, once you get around that turn and you're in this like living legend. So now Madonna's kind of having that moment, Cher's in that moment, Dolly Parton's in that moment. Like you have all these
Where's
older
the respect that comes with that?
Right. But that's what I mean. So like to see Madonna do this great performance with Sabrina, who was
Incredible.
and also like Sabrina was phenomenal. Like the whole thing, the Gina Davis of it all, everything was phenomenal. So much props to her and her team. But like to come off and then to see her at Anima's show after losing her mind dancing. And I'm like, this is why like I love this woman so much, because she's exactly who she has always been.
Yeah.
She's never been anything more, anything less. She has told you from
She's always told you she is.
Right. Like there's no veil. Anything that has come up with like a question is that ain't on her. She's told you who she is. So when you see her at age 67, losing her mind, dancing by herself, she doesn't care because this is who she is. She's not new to it. She's true to it. Club baddies don't die. That's it. Like you live forever on the dance floor. And that's why I'm excited for this new era for her, because like that's what this is all about. She's going back to dance music at a time when it's really, really needed.
And those were my favorite tracks from Madonna.
Right.
Dance tracks, man.
So it's like,
So basically what you're saying is what I've always said is first is film is forever, TV is forever, the internet is forever. And it's so true. What you say online, maybe your friends don't see it, but other women see it.
Right.
And it will stay with you forever. So,
and if
go ahead.
I was going to say, if you also think that women do not talk to one another, and if a woman says, oh, I'm going out on a date with this guy. Oh, who is it? Oh, that guy. Oh, I know him.
Pull your entire online profile within 0.5 seconds.
Yep. Immediately. Guys, your likes are public. Everything that you respond to on Threads is public.
Also, get educated a little bit before you go online commenting, especially on Madonna.
Right.
Do a little research. Know who you're talking about. This woman is an icon, not just because she has so many songs that you know, and her name's Madonna. And she's an icon because of what she's done for the community, for the queer community in particular, for the dance community, for women. Just know who you're talking about before you start firing off on what you see with no context behind it.
Well, and this is what I said too in my post, where it's like all of your faves, and I don't even mean just people like Sabrina Carpenter. Like you look at like Motley Crue did the movie version of their book, The Dirt. They covered Madonna's Like a Virgin in that movie. Like your faves of every genre give this woman respect. So you trying to come up with your misogynistic or tired ass comment online, like you look goofy. You look goofy and you look terrible to other women.
We
and
should
it's
start
like
propping them up. And not in the sense of like good for them, but like, oh, look at this goofy comment I found from so and so and so and so. Like, just in the time of my life where I just want to call people out.
Right.
I mean, I don't.
That's another podcast.
I guess that's been my whole life, though.
Right.
Just like the people police. I'm like, you're doing something wrong right now.
Right. No, but it really is crazy, and it's like, you know, so you wonder why women, when you hear this conversation about women choosing the bear. You wonder why, you know, because it's just like, and yeah, I love when men are always just like, well, we're the protectors. Oh, who are you protecting women from? Other men, guys. It's other men. It's you. I'm sorry to be that person, but.
Well, you know, I have found that the men on the dance floor of a house party tend to be just that, very protective.
Yeah.
Very kind, very courteous. They notice if they see me that I'm short and small. I don't know how I always end up behind the tallest man.
Always.
Without fail. And tall, I don't mean just a little tall. I'm talking about the 7-foot guy.
Every time.
Who I'm behind. So I have to be like, hey, I'm here. But for the most part, the culture on the dance floor is very safe and inviting and loving and accepting, as you were saying. But I'm curious about what's something that people romanticize about the dance floor of the 90s, 2000s that maybe is misunderstood?
I think that It's funny because so Brian, my husband, and I, we just went to Germany recently, and we went to Berghain. And if you know anything about,
Wait, you got in?
we got in, yeah. So if you don't know anything about Berghain, it's one of the most like iconic, exclusive clubs in the world. And yeah, techno. They have a house room upstairs called Panorama Bar, which was the main reason why we were going. But you don't know if you're going to get in or not, and the thing that I was curious to see is that, people travel all around the world to try to get in, and you wait on this line. I think we waited for a little bit over 2 hours to get in, and you're just there, and it's just like, we're going to see. And as you get closer, you see people getting to the front, and they just look at you and they go, sorry, not tonight. And people just walk off, and there's no conversation. They just walk off and they leave. I'm like, I don't know that you could do that in America now without a fight. I was like, I feel like that would be crazy, because in the 90s, that's the way it was. I remember showing up. I mean, you have to remember, like, Berghain is essentially a queer space. So they're trying to make sure it stays a safe space for everybody, not just queer people, but people that are going to add to the space and be allies and be safe, whatever. So that's the discriminatory door policy. That used to be very, very common. And I remember going to Roxy one night, me and like 5 girlfriends. Now I'm going to a club that's primarily for gay men, and I brought 5 women with me. And I got to the front door, and they were like, they looked at me and they looked at the girls, and they were like, nope, not at all. Too many girls. And I was like, okay. And we just got off, and that was it. We went to Tunnel and we had a great night, but that's the way that it was. So I feel like there's this, oh, it was so much better back then. And I'm like, I don't know. A lot of y'all would not have liked this.
You
probably wouldn't have gotten in. Yeah.
Now you can't get in unless you have like $100 for a ticket.
And that's everything. That's
minimum.
Right.
Minimum.
Right. And I could go on and on about this.
Tosh is coming back.
Yeah. The bottle service of it all, the buying your way into VIP, and I get it. Like, things get more and more expensive, and it's a business, and these, it's a lot of it has changed, but it's
really taking something that started in the basements of Chicago,
right,
that was meant to be for everyone, but was birthed through queer people.
More often than not, people of color.
Yeah, and people of color, of course. And this it was exclusive only because it had to be to stay safe, not because you weren't cool enough to get in. And it's taking that and making it so that now nobody can get in.
Right.
Well, you have the privilege of a ticket or knowing somebody, or it's not about the music anymore for the people orchestrating the opportunities.
Well, I will always think of this post, because LPGOB did a post where somebody, love her so much, and she did a post where, I don't remember where she played, some great venue, whatever, and somebody sent her a voice note after that was like, you did a remix for Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer and you didn't play it, and that was the reason why I came, and I'm really upset that you didn't play it. And she posted it on her Instagram, and she made a whole thing about it, and I was just like, that's so funny. But it's, again,
what was the response to that?
It was just sort of like, you're coming to see me play. Like, if you want to, like, you can stream the song, like, wherever you want to stream it. Like, I understand, but you can't dictate what a DJ is about to play. So it's like, I think people's intentions to go out are not always the same. And I think not all parties are the same. Like, we always talk about baby powder on the dance floor. If you see somebody putting baby powder on a dance floor, you're at the right party.
Yeah.
Because these are people that want to slide easily on their sneakers and dance around. That's why they have the baby powder. And it's usually good house music, and it's usually primarily people of color. And it's like, there have been parties now
and lots of different ages.
For sure.
Anytime baby powder goes down on the dance floor, I am not the oldest one at the club
at all.
And I can't even tell you how many times queens or elders have come out to me and be like, girl, let it go. I want to see you dance. And I'll be like, that's what I needed to hear. And just like, take off.
Yeah.
They give us such permission. It's almost like we never learned how to be free.
Right.
And there's a select few of them that are still trying to remind us how to do it.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, and I find that it's mostly people of color, really, really, because when you are forced to create an underground community to feel safe, it's just, I don't know, it changes the dynamic completely. Like there's been times where, you know, as the Afro house genre has started to really, really pop off here in America, I've been to places where I'm like maybe one of 10 white people in the crowd. And I recognize, and that this is where I think a lot of people go wrong, the self-awareness or the lack thereof. I recognize that I am a guest in this space.
Correct.
And I am here to like see, learn, dance, and do whatever. And I mean, be around some of the most incredible dancers I've ever seen in my life. But it's, again, because to a lot of people, as a 6'2" white man looking like I do, the most dangerous thing in the room looks like me. You know, so it's like you have to go into a party. And I say this also as a gay DJ, because a lot of times we'll get women that will come into the gay club. And it's like, we want you to be there. You just have to know where you're at, be respectful of the place, and be respectful of the crowd. You're not in a petting zoo. You're in a place to add to the environment, to add to the freedom, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing I want people to understand. It's almost like when you're on the dance floor, you are just a strand of hair.
Right, right.
And, you know, then you'd make these gorgeous braids. Everybody comes together and things happen, but you are part of the story.
Right.
Being a voyeur doesn't mean that you're a wallflower.
Right.
Being at a party, you're still integrated into the party. You can be respectful, be aware. Please be aware.
Please be aware.
What you do, please be aware. And still be part of something while having the respect for where it originated, who's created it, and who's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, none of us would have a career if it wasn't for, like, literally the music that came from the Black community. Like, that's pretty much everything. Right.
And the first thing that came to my head was, well, hello, Disco Demolition.
Right,
and it turned straight into house music, you know? So.
Yeah, but even that, like the backlash to disco was primarily a backlash to, it was anti-Black and it was anti-gay.
Right, that's why it went underground.
Right, and so then, but again, and that's why I feel like even now, like, you know, we lost Brooklyn Mirage here in New York, and so Pasha New York is going to be a thing, and so that'll be whatever that'll be. I think that you'll see, as we're in a very, very interesting place in dance music right now, where I feel like there's the very sort of capitalistic side of it, and then there's the more underground side, like when we think of venues in Brooklyn, like
okay, so let me ask you, let's do this or that for a second. Pasha or Good Room?
Good Room.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and for those of you listening who don't know what that is, Pasha or Brooklyn Mirage would be one of those big venues where you're going to see John Summit, you're going to see Vintage Culture, you're going to see
Gordo, all those guys,
Gorgon City, everybody. And then Good Room, you probably don't know the DJ.
Yeah, maybe you do, or it's like a Danny Krivit, or it's like somebody like Joe Clausel. Like it's more like housey, like, and it's but there's two rooms, and you're probably not going to know the person in the other room, but you're going to go from room to room and have the best night.
My favorite nights have been in spaces like Good Room,
right,
where it's not about the DJ, it's about the dance floor. And I think that's where things starting to get twisted, is like we've started to glorify the DJ in such a way that we've forgotten they're creating an experience for us.
And I saw somebody actually say this online recently and was like, I wonder if you took the DJ off the stage and you put them somewhere else where they could not be seen, would you still want to be a DJ? Now, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
Right. And it's like, would you still want it? Because when we went to Berghain and we got in, we first walked into the main room, which was just this cavernous space, and it was crazy. And then we went upstairs to Panorama Bar, which was packed with people. And we were standing there dancing, and then all of a sudden I looked around and I was like, you know what? I have no idea where the DJ is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but I'm used to seeing them, and I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I would still want to do it.
Yeah.
I would definitely still want to do it. If you could bring any artist back to life for one more concert, who would it be?
Oh, God, this is so hard because there's three. It's so hard. My first instinct is Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
My first instinct is Whitney Houston, but Prince and George Michael are a tough tie right behind. But I'm really mad Whitney was the one I never got to see live. So mad.
100% would second that. What's
David
one
Bowie
artist
too.
that people are sleeping on right now?
Ooh, that's really, really, one artist that people are sleeping on. I got to be honest. I think that I don't even know if it's one artist, but I want to see more of the Afro house get bigger, because I feel like this seems to be the only genre that allows for the depth and breadth of dance music now, where everything, since we live in such a streaming culture where everything is like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes out, 2.5 minutes. Most of these Afro house songs are very like 6-7 minutes long. They have the beautiful breakdowns, and there's so many incredible people that are making this music. So like, dive into the genre. Like Black Coffee is an easy one to start off with, but like there's so many. Shims is another one who's fantastic. Temba is fantastic. Like we saw Temba at Red Rocks and it was like
so incredible,
unbelievable. Like I have so much love for that man, but there really are just incredible people in that genre making the most gorgeous music.
One message you want to put on the record for everyone listening?
A stranger in life is a friend on the dance floor. And the other question that I get asked a lot is, if you could give one piece of advice to new DJs, what would it be? And the thing
tell me, please.
Well, that I always say is that every person you meet on the way up is the same person you meet on the way down. So always be kind to everyone that you meet. Trust me, that will go further. Introduce yourself to the staff when you go into a venue. Don't just walk in and be the superstar DJ. Make sure that the bartenders know your name. Go talk to them after the set is over. How did it go? How was the crowd for you? Like, these are the things that people will remember, because I've gone into places after legends have played and have heard terrible stories about how they've treated people. And it's like, that will get you not booked.
For everyone who's also not a DJ.
Right. But it's
going back to that awareness, open your eyes. Know of who's in the room. Become aware, because you are part of this ecosystem. You are part of the dance floor and the fabric.
I will tell a good story, though, about this, too, about Miss Oprah Winfrey. I was talking to somebody who we used to do photos with back in the day for Peloton. And I said, well, so who are some of the people that you photographed? Like, what are some of the big names? Like, do you have any, like, T on any celebrities, whatever? And he's like, not really T. He's like, because most of the big celebrities come there, like, very ready to work and do the thing of what they know how to do. He's like, I've done many different covers for O Magazine. And I said, oh, my God. I said, tell me about that. And he said, the thing that's crazy about Oprah is that she has a stand-in that they do lighting tests for whatever. So if this is the set, they'll have somebody come in and sit and they'll do all the lighting tests, whatever. In the meantime, she's walking around the set and introducing herself to the gaffer, to the cameraman, to the person who's doing craft services, to the person who's doing everything. And, for whatever else she may or may not be, like, that leaves a mark on people. And so then when they have everything ready, they say, okay, Oprah, we're ready for you. She goes in, gets the shot, nails it. Thank you so much. See you later. Goodbye, Bob. Nice to meet you, Richard. Nice to see you, Jess. Nice to whatever. And then leaves. That has so much to do with how people want to work with you and who wants to work with you.
She really does, from that story, own her impact.
Right.
And if I were to put something on the record, anyone who's in a position, especially a DJ, right? You're controlling everyone's night. Own the impact that you have and be intentional. In general, I think we underestimate our own value in the world.
For sure.
We underestimate and don't give ourselves enough credit for how powerful and influential we truly are. So as you navigate life, ask people's names, become aware of who's in the space. No one is above you. No one is below you. We're all walking next to each other, and own the impact you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely.
And getting on the record. I will say, I do sense that you're a little nervous in this environment.
I think I made it. I think I did really well.
You did really well. But
I didn't sweat.
It was so buttoned up.
Right.
I was ready for us to be absurd and ridiculous and have hot goss. Okay, we'll ease our way.
Yeah. I think there'll be another one, but
ease our way into it.
Yeah.
I love talking to you about everything, especially music, especially the culture, how it's evolved, where it is now, what's going on, what's trending. Because the dance community is what I think 34 million people went to a dance show last year. So when you say, oh, I don't know anything about that, or it's not for me. No, it is. You're just missing out.
And by the way, you don't outgrow this. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're too old to be on the dance floor. That's such nonsense.
And I would say a lot of members at Peloton who are older than me thank me so much for the introduction to house music, to certain artists, or for playing the music that I play, because it's authentically house music, and they're house heads who have grown up and evolved and now can't relate to the music anymore.
Right.
So,
How many people we saw when we went to go see Gorgon City? Oh no, Rufus Du Sol at Red Rocks, and we're like,
right.
we're here because of you guys, because we heard it on Peloton, blah blah blah. Like that is the biggest compliment to me.
Yeah, we own our impact, baby.
Right. That's
And we turn the
incredible.
volume up. So thanks so much for joining me today, here on the record, putting your stories on the record, telling us about what it was like back in the day and what you think about what's going on today. I love you.
I love you.
I value you.
Same.
And I'm so glad that you decided to become a DJ.
The DJ in me sees the DJ in you.
Namasa, play that motherfucking beat.
Yes.
DJ, drop the beat.
Meow, 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 meow.